Smile! Bring in the clown. Hello everybody, ScotsThinker here, and today I'm going to be talking about 2019 standalone character study of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. Now, I've actually seen this film a while back, but I thought I'd wait for the internet to spout out their opinions before I give out mine. Because let me tell you, apart from Avengers Endgame, this is the most discussed superhero movie of the year. Regardless of whether you think this movie is good or bad, there's no denying that this film is going to catch everybody's attention. What is this film about? Let me tell you. The legendary Joaquin Phoenix plays Arthur Fleck, a very troubled man struggling with mental health issues, and finds escapism through comedy. Essentially, his job is a clown. Over the course of the film, we see how he gets bullied, how his relationships over time start getting more and more shaky. We see society downtrodden him, which makes his mental health conditions worse. Essentially, it's his descent to madness. There's an occasional nod to the younger Bruce Wayne and his parents. But apart from them, this movie focuses entirely on Arthur Fleck. And from the moment it started, I was hooked. And the combination of the acting and the cinematography and the pacing really does a successful job at making you feel uncomfortable. It's not glorifying any of it in any way. It's just depicting it within the context of a cautionary tale. And it's a film that really gets people thinking about how society treats people with mental health conditions. And Joaquin Phoenix himself, he gives an incredible performance. He's putting every ounce of his being into this character. He manages to find this balance between uncomfortable and sympathetic, and it engaged me all the way throughout the movie. Now, my good friend John Bailey, or the epic voice guy on Stardust, said that Joaquin Phoenix could have been crazier in this role. And whilst that is true, seeing how that makes sense for the Joker of all people, I think we've got to remember that this is his descent into madness. He's not quite mad yet, but he's becoming mad. One thing I absolutely adore about this performance, Joaquin Phoenix did some research of people with mental health, and he made a genius decision to have Arthur Fleck have this laughing condition. He will laugh every time he's under complete stress. So most of the time, he's not even laughing for happiness. He's laughing just to get the system out. It can hurt his chest sometimes. It's amazing how much emotion and nuance he can give to laughter. I'll give you an example. There's one scene when he's on a train and some of the same bullies from earlier are harassing a woman, and he can't help but laugh. The guys look at him and he's going, no, as in, no, I'm not laughing at you. But then he keeps laughing again and again due to being in so much stress. Bullies come after him. He keeps laughing, but he keeps going like that. And the bullies come up and go, what's wrong, buddy? And he gives this look like. And there's other scenes like that when he's putting on a smile, but you can tell deep down inside he's under complete stress, like the scene when he's getting fired. You can just look into his eyes, into his soul, and just tell all the torment he's in. Now, in comparison to Heath Ledger, I'd say Joaquin Phoenix is equally as good and intimidating for different reasons, as well as similar reasons. Like Heath Ledger, they both take the Joker character to add in much more depth, and they both make their respective films more thought-provoking. What makes them different, though, is that Heath Ledger's Joker is a complete psychopathic beast, and Joaquin Phoenix is a depressed weirdo becoming more and more evil. Joaquin Phoenix Joker eventually makes these terrible decisions which makes the audience go, whoa, what are you doing? And in many respects, Arthur Fleck is thinking the same thing at first. But as he makes more and more bad choices, he embraces this beast which would later become the Joker. And we see the impact on what these poor monstrous choices can do to society. Which is why this works so well as a standalone movie that doesn't have to shove extended universes down your throat, which is especially well achieved for modern DC standards. Now, there are some people, like my friend Dr. Neiltopus, who has pointed out that they really like extended superhero universes because it ties into certain stories and they can add in more nuance and stuff like that. But as of recording this, I'm suffering from a bit of Marvel fatigue. And admittedly, I don't know whether or not this film is tying into Robert Pattinson's future Batman interpretation. But here's the point I'm trying to make. Even if this does get a sequel or two, or ties into something else, this film works strongly on its own. That's something that DC had been missing up until recent times with films like Wonder Woman and Aquaman. I know Marvel's doing a really good job with the cinematic universe, But I personally have this fear that it's going to take a Simpsons approach and it's going to keep going and going and going in an endless monopoly to the point where they're going to run out of fresh ideas. This film is a fresh idea. This is one of the most intriguing Joker adaptations I've ever seen. It might be too soon to say, but I'd rate Joaquin Phoenix Joker in third place out of all the Joker versions that I've seen. I'd place Joaquin Phoenix in third place, Heath Ledger in second place, and then of course Mark Hamill in first place. Although opinions may change. Some people are caught off guard with how uncomfortable this film is, and I think this was achieved using the mixture of the subject matter of the mental health deterioration and the realistic tone. I understand this can throw some people off. This is not for the faint-hearted at all. But again, the shock value adds to the fact that this is a cautionary tale. And I really like movies that can combine the superhero genre with other genres, like The Dark Knight was also a crime thriller, and Logan was also a western, and this interpretation of the Joker was also a character study movie. And I've noticed the superheroes that mesh different genres tend to be the best movies. Political thrillers, World War I, II, Africa. The film is quite shocking because we witness Gotham City become corrupt and filled with violence. We observe all this corruption in the city, and everyone in the city becoming corrupt. We should not be desensitized from violence. It should be shocking. We should find it awful. And this film does a really good job at that. And that's ultimately what the movie's all about. About how corruption can grow in ways that we as a society don't intend to do. So films like this should exist in order to warn us about what we're capable of. We can't ignore these issues, we're responsible for them, we need to fix them. Otherwise, well, what happened in this movie happens. So there were other criticisms that this movie had, but they didn't stop me from enjoying this movie. And ultimately, this is one of those movies that you just have to see for yourself, and make your own criticism or praise for it. As for a rating, I personally give Joaquin Phoenix's Joker a 10 out of 12. Thank you for watching my own opinions on this year's adaptation of the Joker, and from now on I'm going to make up for my sins of the past of stealing content from my reviews, and from now on I'm gonna do movie reviews like this. It saves me time and effort, and I'll get better as I go. What were your thoughts on 2019's adaptation of the Joker? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see more movie reviews like this, be sure to like this video. Or dislike it knowing this movie. And more fun content is on its way. ScotsThinker, signing out.